Evening, ladies. I am so excited for this leader spotlight. We've got an awesome leader on for you today. Let's give Facebook some time to build an audience. Hi, here they come. Hi, Leslie, how are you? Oh my gosh. All at once. Hey, Kerry, are you girls excited? I know that you all absolutely adore the lady that we have on tonight for obvious reasons. Hi, Elaine. Evening, my lovely. Hello, Abby. Abby, who is very soon going to go green, I might add. Hi, Zan. Hi, Victoria. Here they all come. So, Leader Spotlight. We're doing these every Monday at the moment. They're proving very successful. For those of you who haven't seen one of our Leader Spotlights yet, this is a great opportunity for women within the team to get some amazing tips and some amazing advice on how to work their business from some of the top leaders. Hi, Leanne. From some of the top leaders inside my team and outside of my team. But it's also a really amazing opportunity to talk about what we do and to show people who aren't in the business, to show them kind of the heart and the soul of what we do. So is Holly on? I haven't seen her yet. Holly, where are you, my lovely? Holly, if you could comment for me, it will allow me to invite you. So put a little, here she is. She shared the video. Okay, so what do we know about Holly? Holly joined the team in May 2015. She has 2,110 ladies on her team. Awesome, Holly, I see ya. She has 2,110 ladies on her team. She has 17 elites within her organization. 17. That's a lot of elites. She was the second lady within my personal team to hit black status, and she did that in 11 months. Now, Holly is one of those people, for those of you who haven't encountered her, she has an amazing aura about her. She's very calming, very serene, very sweet, like very classy, very professional, and don't be fooled by the calmness and the sweetness, because she's an absolute go-getter, and she wouldn't say she's a red personality, but I'd say she is. She is one of those people, if she has a goal, she just goes after it. And she's extremely selfless as well. Holly is all about her team, and it shows in everything that she does. So, without further ado, let me scroll up. You ready, Holly? Ah! She's one of my favourites. I just love her. Okay, Holes, we're inviting you. Are you girls looking forward to this? To hearing from one of the top leaders in my team? Hi, Laura. Hi, Becky. Hi, Claire. Oh, you're all on tonight. We have, Holly, we have 64 ladies. 64. She's she's keeping me waiting. Holly, what you doing to me? Okay, I think Holly's having techie difficulties. Oh, honey. We have practiced. And it worked in practice. It's always the way. Let's try again. I'm going to come off. Go live with Holly. Remember, Holly, phone on landscape. Portrait lock off. I'm like, what are you doing to me, woman? There's only so much I can fill.
I'm here. I'm so sorry. It wasn't giving me the option. Technology.
You're okay, darling. Good old technology. You know what they say? Expect the worst with technology.
Absolutely.
always backup plan. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good, thank you. The lighting, I'm afraid, is awful. I have a lamp, but it's pretty bad here. It's very
You're
grey today.
fine. You're fine. We can see you really clearly, and I know that the ladies are really excited to hear from you tonight. Now, much the same as Tasha, who I had on last week, you've just had a baby as well, haven't you, little Lily?
I have Lily. Yeah, she is 6 months now. It's just flown. I can't even believe that she's 6 months. But yeah,
That's gone so quickly. So
has gone
quickly.
quick.
You're a mum of 2 now.
I know. How did that happen? Yeah, well, we know how that happened. But yeah, Freddie's 3.
I can tell you how it happened, but I don't think it's safe for a live.
Lots of loves. That's right. Lots of loves. That's how it happened.
Yeah,
but yeah, Freddie's 3 and Lily's 6 months. So yeah, the 2 of them are a little tag team.
A little tag team. A terrible 2.
Indeed, indeed.
We'll touch on that tonight, I'm sure. But are you excited? Are you nervous?
I am. I'm really excited to see you all and have a little chat about my favourite part of life, which is our wide world. Yes, absolutely.
Our amazing, wonderful wide world. Okay, my lovely. So I'm going to ask you very similar questions to the ones that I ask a lot of ladies when they jump on. I know your story inside out, and I'm really excited for you to have the opportunity to share it with everybody. So, darling, tell us a little bit about Holly. What did you do before starting out with Unique? What was your occupation?
Okay, so I worked in account management for a company that specialised in the mystery shopping division. It sounds as exciting as it was. So there was a lot of spreadsheets involved, which is right up my street. So that was good.
You love a good spreadsheet.
I love a spreadsheet. I'm a big spreadsheet fan. And presentations and basically relationship management. That was my job. It was to look after like our existing client base, and I'm not a salesperson at all. So I was never ever like after the whole sales role. I was quite happy to look after our existing business, and it was like that warm market, if you like. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I did.
Yeah. It sounds like that was quite suited to you because you're a very people person just in general. So, you know, looking after people, that is your thing, very much so.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love people. I'm very sociable. I haven't been as sociable in the last couple of months, obviously, since having the baby, but I just love people, and I love how people work, and like their personalities and how people gel and stuff. So yeah, it was good from that perspective. But it was, I think after having Freddie, everything changed slightly. So my view of being away from him and stuff, it didn't, you know, the love of the job wasn't enough that I wanted to stay in that sort of environment.
And you were on a pretty good salary as well, weren't you?
I was, yeah, higher than the national average. So I can't complain. But we did need both of our salaries, like Tim and I combined, you know, for our mortgage and our bills and all of that jazz. It was never an option for me to stay at home. So so yeah, it was a good salary, and one that would be hard to replace, as I thought. So yeah.
And you were no stranger to network marketing either, were you? You'd had an experience before of this industry.
I had, and weirdly, like, I think a lot of people would think that would be an advantage, but it wasn't a particularly great experience that I had in the past with a previous firm. So it sort of did put me off a bit at first, because I felt like I judged what this whole opportunity could be like based on that. So I came into it very much like Hannah, my sponsor, will always tell you that I came in and was like, I'm not going to sponsor anybody. I'm not going to do parties. I'm just going to go. Yeah, I was very like, I found my join post actually in Vanity Fair, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was just like, no, I'm not doing anything. So yeah, it did give me some like preconceived ideas on how it could work out. But something made me go for it.
So you heard it here today, ladies. Holly Miller was pretty much as good as a kidnapper when she started out.
Yeah, I did. I said to Hannah, I said, I feel sorry for you. I was like, honestly, I'm not the kind of person you want on your team. Like, I'm not.
I beg to differ. If I could have a million Holly Millers, I'd be a very happy lady.
Bless you. Thank you.
So, darling, let everybody know what was your reason for joining? Why did you join?
So I had an online party for Hannah, and I really felt like I was doing her a favour, actually, and we still laugh about it now. But I was like, right, you know, you're doing network marketing. I know how hard it is, because again, based on my preconceived ideas, and I was like, I'll have a party for you, don't worry, I'll be a hostess. So I did, and I just loved it. And I think you were on there actually.
Yeah, I was
on that party, and I just
Ria
thought,
and I both were. I remember.
Yeah,
it well.
you were. And I thought, I can do this. This is all right. I'm on my phone all the time. Like I watched our wedding video the other day actually, and in Tim's speech, he spoke about how he had to go because I needed to update my status to married and stuff. We had like a joke with our friends that I'm very, very Facebook central. And I've always been quite open on Facebook. I share my life, and that's what it's for, you know, it's like a networking tool. So I sort of thought, I'm on Facebook all the time anyway, and I really like makeup.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? But I didn't want to like commit to anything, because you know what it's like. You think, oh my God, she's going to make me do stuff I don't want to do. So I literally just said, I'll join, but I'm just going to see how it goes. So yeah, the initial, she is, yeah. The initial reason was certainly just to, I think after being off on maternity leave for like a year, and I didn't wear makeup for all that time, and I was very frazzled, first time mother. And I sort of thought it'll be quite nice to prove to myself that I can do something that's just about me. So yeah, that was the initial why.
We have a lot of ladies that come into the team, and indeed a lot of ladies that have been on my leaders' lives that do talk about that, getting your individuality back after having kids. It is very, very common. I always say that working in a team of unique presenters is the best contraception in the world, because the amount of stories I hear.
100%. Don't do it.
But no, you really took to it. You really took to it. And I remember, you know, within the first few months, your team duplicated like amoebas. It was amazing to watch. It really was.
My little rabbits, yeah. We went
little
for it.
rabbit, yeah. Team
we totally went for it. Absolutely. It was just crazy. It just exploded. And yeah, it was fairly early on that I went from, I'm not doing anything, to I will do whatever I have to do, because I can see that this is going to explode. Yeah.
And, you know, when did that belief kick in?
I think it was probably, maybe when I sort of within the first week, maybe a week or two. I mean, it did go like super fast speed for me, like I couldn't even have predicted how quickly it would all go. Like, I think I was white in 3 days and yellow in 8 days. So it was very quick, but I thought, well, if I can do yellow in 8 days, I can teach other people how to do that.
Absolutely.
And that's what it always that's just what it came about. And we just ran together. And like Leanne Strong, who is one of my leaders, and she's amazing, and she's also one of my best friends and Lily's godmother, and you know, I didn't know her before Unique. So for me, I just had all these amazing people around me that were like positive and not moaning about their lives and boring me and stuff. Like they were like a really exciting bunch of people who I really wanted to spend time with, and they lifted me out of this whole like phase where I'd felt quite low about myself. There'd been some breakdowns in friendships and stuff, and in my personal life. So I felt like this was like a whole new world, and I just ran with it, and we all ran together. And that was, I think that was the thing. It was like we say about this sisterhood, and I'm sure people outside of our Y world think, oh my God, it's like a cult, but it isn't.
We're a cult.
It isn't. It's genuine. Like it's genuine love, and you just find your tribe, your people. And I can't even remember the exact time, but I'm sure it was around when for it was great.
We're losing you, Holly. I don't know.
Oh, it froze.
I don't know if it's just me. Is it just? But it's frozen.
Can you hear me? You're going a bit.
Technology, prepare for the worst. Remember, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's just a little bit disjointed.
Can you girls hear us? It's fine. They'll forgive us. They'll forgive us. So it didn't take that long for you to hand in your notice, did it? I remember the moment when you managed to. How did that feel, honey?
I know, and I I still can't believe it. I still can't believe that I did it, even now. And I've been at home for like over a year, but I still remember that feeling. And although it didn't take long into my journey to do it, Hannah will, I'm sure, vouch for the fact that I had to be forced into making that decision, because my job was like a comfort blanket for me. And although I didn't love it, and it was keeping me away from Freddie, and I was earning enough to quit, I felt like, oh my God, but what if? Yeah. And I had this fear and fear is crippling. Those of you who deal with it daily will know. And I felt like it was like a band-aid I just had to rip off. But it took me reversing my car into a wall at the childminders. How embarrassing is that? It was my childminders wall. I literally like drove into it. I dropped my phone at work and smashed the screen, and I got reported to HR for being on Facebook at work.
Holly. And then you just decided, I've had enough of this.
3 things, and I thought, I've got to do it. So when I was in my meeting about, you know, how I might have been spending a bit of time on Facebook, like on my lunch hour or whatever, I remember I just had this feeling inside me, and I was like, don't do it. Like my head's going, don't do it, don't do it. And my heart was like, you're gonna do it, you're just gonna do it. And I did. And I literally ran out of that meeting, and I typed up my resignation letter, and I left it on my boss's desk, and then I ran out for lunch, and I just burst into tears in the car because I couldn't believe I'd done it, because I honestly 100% never ever thought that I could leave that job. I thought I was going to be there forever, and then like just spend my retirement on state pension with no money. Do you know what I mean? It was that real. I really didn't think that I was going to be present for my kids growing up.
Because that's what we're taught in school, isn't it? We're taught that there's a very set path in life that you have to follow, and if you deviate from that path, then you are a rebel.
And also, like, it's just not the norm, is it? That's the thing. You're bred to like think that you have to work for somebody else, and so I felt like we really went against the grain. And I remember my dad was like, what have you done? And we had like a big talk about it, and I was like, I just feel like it's the time, I've got to do it. And I gave myself a 3-month notice period. I only had a month, but I worked a 3-month notice because I was so scared, and I really wanted to make sure it was the right thing to do. And when I left work, it was just the weirdest feeling, but the most amazing feeling. And then the next month we hit black. So
how long ago was that?
So I finished at my day job March 2016.
So it's a year and a half, give or take.
Yeah.
And was it the right decision for you?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I would never, ever go back to working for somebody else. Why would you, when you can have the freedom of working for yourself?
For sure. I think it's something that you realize when you're on the other side. And I think that change is scary for everyone. And I remember having the same conversation with myself in my head. It must have been probably two years ago, I should think, where I was questioning if this was even real. And I think that, you know, even with success comes a little bit of self-development that you need to do to work your way through those kind of
tons of
money
self-development.
things.
All the self-development, all the time. Don't ever stop doing it. Don't ever stop doing it. God, no.
Great advice. So what were your reservations, my love?
I guess, what, reservations about leaving my job or just doing Unique in general?
About joining Unique and following this path.
So I think, like many people, I had a real issue with what other people would think of me, and whether I was going to be deemed one of those spammy people filling people's timelines with selfies. And like my husband's friends joked, and some of them may be watching, hi, and if they are, they'll laugh. But they used to send in messages like, oh, is she going to do a selfie on you, Tim, and everything. We all had a giggle about it, but I'm laughing now. And it was that kind of theme, you know, where I just worried what people would think about me. I didn't want to upset anybody or annoy anybody. But I remember seeing a quote that has stayed with me for my whole journey, and I really lay it on thick for my team, that if they're not paying your bills, really doesn't matter. And it's true. Like, as long as the people that are my nearest and dearest are with me, And something that you said was that they don't need to believe in the opportunity, but they need to believe in you. And that is it. That's all they've got to do. And if they don't believe in you, as long as you believe in you, that's all that matters. Because there's never going to be like anyone who's for everybody. We're not pizza. We can't please everybody. And you just have to know and trust that your tribe are out there. And for every person that thinks this is a pyramid scheme or thinks that you're spammy, there will be 10 other people that will love you for what you're doing, and you will light up their life. So just do it and be proud.
Girls, you are not pizza. Remember that. You are not pizza. Not everybody is going to like you. There's a lot of people out there to please. And I always say, you know, when you change your behavior to please one person, you will upset another. And my team, very, very familiar with my quotes. And as long as you're not hurting anyone, as long as you're following your passion, as long as you love what you do, who cares what other people think? Because they're not going to pay you.
How can this be like a bad thing? We're just trying to provide for our families. Like, oh, shock horror. Oh my God. Yeah. And we're doing something we love whilst we're helping women like the world over who have been through some horrendous things in their life. Like when you add all that up, it's like, really? So my selfie's bothering you that much? You know, you have to build up that thick skin to it and just free other people to have opinions of their own and just know it's no reflection on you.
And I have to say, from my experience of doing this, a lot of the time, it's all in our heads anyway, because I've had so little negativity from friends and family. I think a lot of the time we come into this thinking, I don't want to post too much on my Facebook because I don't want to annoy people. And we invent these stories in our head of what these people are thinking when really they're not thinking anything. And I'm not going to name her. I know she's on this live. But she's an orange status in my organization, and she didn't want to go live on her timeline because there was one person, her mum. She was so worried that her mum was going to tease her. And I said to her, are you sure that your mum feels that way? Are you sure that that's the case? And I said, you know, I would just do it anyway. And if she teases you, I would just have the conversation with her and just say, you know, Mum, you're really kind of... you're not helping. Just be honest with her. And she went and did this live, and her mum commented on the live with one word, and that word was proud.
Oh no, don't! Oh no! Oh no, she's done it. No, that's
sorry,
amazing. That's
so
amazing.
A lot of the time it's all in our heads, and we invent these stories of what other people are thinking when really we don't know what other people are thinking. We don't know. And sometimes if you want to go after something, just go for it, and you will make people proud along the way. You will. When you
will.
Chase
God,
dreams,
so proud. So proud. You just got to follow your heart. Just listen to that little voice inside. Like when it's really loud, that's when you need to listen to it. I've learned that.
For sure. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. So how did you turn your reservations around, Holly? You know, how did you kind of...
So self-development, like 100%, because you have to do it to get it. And so many people push against it and won't do it because they think, I haven't got time to read a book. None of us have got time for a lot of things, but we find time for what we prioritize. And I'm telling you that if you want to get to black status and maintain a really successful business, you've got to do it. You've just got to do it. And you just have to build up this thick skin. And I think when I used to drop Freddie off and I would see his little face and just think, oh, please don't do anything new today. Please don't like say a word for the first time, or like, I don't know. I don't think he was walking actually when I started Younique. So there were all these things that just made me think, please, I just don't want to miss it. And the why was so much stronger than my reasons not to do it. And that's my little tagline, like, make the why bigger than the why not, because we can all make excuses till the cows come home. There'll always be something on the telly to watch. There'll always be like some gossip to get involved with that can distract us for hours. But, you know, you've got to put your energy where your heart is. And if the why is big enough, you will do whatever it takes. And other people's opinions just don't matter. You've got to do what's right for you and your family.
Very wise advice. You've got to focus your attention on what you want in life and not what you don't want. And although my why is very, very different to yours, mine was not to go back to that 9 to 5 corporate world. Every single time I was afraid of something that this business could throw at me, like disapproval or rejection, whatever it might be, I would think about how it would feel to go back to a cubicle. Yeah. And so my fear of going back to the 9 to 5 was stronger than anything this business could put in my path. And I think, girls, sometimes you have to think that way. When something pops up and you feel yourself resisting what you know you need to do that's going to grow you, you have to think about what the alternative is. And are you okay with that? Are you okay with missing your baby's first steps? Are you okay with missing your baby's first words? And if the answer's, you know, no, then that's enough to drive you. It really is. And it's a mindset thing. It's always a mindset thing.
It's always mindset. Absolutely. And I go back to that place where I had to, I breastfeed. That is like one of my things. And with Freddie, I had to wean him early and move him to combi feeding because I was going back to work. And I just remember thinking it's too late now for that journey with him. But I am 100% not going to let anything come in my way with my next child. And it hasn't. Like, we've had a really hard journey breastfeeding, even though I'm at home. We've had other issues and stuff with it. But I am so fiercely determined that nothing's going to stop me, because last time I felt powerless to it. And I think that's the thing. It's about taking back the power and making sure it's in your hands and not somebody else's. Like, if you want to go on holiday, you don't have to check that Janice in accounts is off at the same time. Like, we don't care about that. You can go book that holiday because you only have to answer to yourself. So they're the things you've got to keep really strong.
Yeah. And the control is always with you, always. The ball is always in your court. It's just a case of claiming it. I feel like that in all walks of life. We design our lives and we follow the path that we choose through our decisions, very much so. You're getting a lot of smiley faces, witty Holly. So, Holes, what has this done for you?
Oh, so many things, so much more than the income that it was about in the beginning. Because I achieved my why, and I'll be honest with you, when I finished work I was a bit like, oh, okay, like what now? You know, I'm very goal driven. And so getting to the next step of the why was, you know, quite a thing for me. But I just remember I don't want to go back there. And with this business, you always have to be growing, like all the time. We can't take our foot off the pedal. And I don't want to, because I quite like the pace of this business. It keeps me sane, basically. And I love being a mummy. I adore being a mummy, but it is so hard. And being a stay-at-home mummy now, I know, really, really hard. And there are some days that are quite dull. And I quite like the fact that at night time I can switch off from that, and they're in bed, they're settled or not, but husband's dealing with it, and I can get immersed in my why world, which is like my place. Like, I've got my little area and it's something for me. So
you can be Holly Miller again and not
I'm not just Fred and Lily's mummy. Absolutely. I've got my identity back.
And it's interesting what you just said. You know, I think that once you hit black status, it has to be about giving back. It has to be about what you can do for others. You spoke about when your financial goals were met, and anybody who's watching this live who is aiming for black status, do bear in mind you need to find something in this business that you love, because when you hit black status, or when you hit whatever ranking, it might not be black status, it might be purple, it might be orange, and you're earning enough to keep you comfortable, you have to have another driver. For me, Holly is like a mini me because it's very much about my team for me, very much, and it's about helping other people hit their goals. And I know, Holly, I remember very, very clearly the day you handed in your notice and how that made me feel. And the same with Leanne Strong in your team. There's some girls in this team going through some pretty big changes at the moment, which I'm not entirely sure I'm allowed to announce, but it's those things that drive me now, and I know that you're exactly the same.
I was more excited when Leanne handed her notice in. Absolutely. When she handed her notice in, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Because you feel like if I hadn't told her, like, I would have robbed her of that experience, because like I'm not responsible for her success at all. She is 100% responsible for her success.
You planted the seed, though.
But I told her, like, yay,
Yeah.
and yay for Hannah for telling me, because
Yeah.
this is what you've got to remember when you're sponsoring or you're trying to spread the word, this gift that we have in our hands, and you're getting pushback. It's like, there are people out there who need this, like, not just want it, they need it. It might save them from like the depths of postnatal anxiety and depression. Like, you just don't know who needs this, so you just have to keep giving it out.
And we can't assume we know either, because
No.
you never know.
And how many people do we do that with? I used to do it. I used to be like, I'll go through my list. No, I'm not going to speak to that person because I don't think I want to do it. But like on paper, I was earning good money in a fairly, you know, lucrative career and what have you. I don't think on paper I'd be somebody many people would have approached about this.
No.
But I did all right.
Yeah.
And I needed it. And I needed it.
I think that goes down as the understatement of the year. So, darling, what was your biggest challenge with Unique, with Building to Black?
Probably like the balance and the guilt. That's hard, really hard, because like when we were growing to Black, I was working 4 days a week, and then I managed to like, oh, my mum's on, hi mum, and then I managed to like cut my hours to 3 days a week.
Yeah. But
it was still 3 days doing like that job, and then I'd come home and I'd work this job, and then I had Freddie as well, and Tim, and my friends, my friendship group outside of Unique, who didn't really get what I was doing. Very supportive, they're all amazing, but it was just a separate kind of world for them. So yeah, I guess it was just, I felt like I just wanted to be everything to everyone, and I feel guilt about everything. And the mummy guilt, the mums out there will know what I mean. You know, when they hand you your newborn baby, they also hand you this bag of guilt. And they're like, you are now never going to be able to take full joy in anything because you'll always think you're letting somebody down. But it's very similar with your husband and your friends and other things. You know, it's hard to juggle it all. But I just remember that, like, the why was always so big. I had to look at the bigger picture and step out of the nitty gritty of the day, because there are going to be days when I don't do as much as I do others. Like I'm doing a 90-day run at the moment, and I try my best to hit that sheet all the way through, but 9 times out of 10 I might not. And if I don't, that's okay, because I'm still trying and I'm doing, and I'm being more accountable by being part of it. So
I think a lot of what we do is releasing that self-judgment. And I think
absolutely,
especially women have this insatiable desire to be perfect, the perfect mum, the perfect wife, the perfect Unique presenter, the perfect friend, and you just can't. It's impossible. And it's almost like everybody's reaching for an unattainable or an unrealistic ideal, and sometimes you just have to release that self-judgment and know that if you're doing the best job you can do, it is always enough. It's always enough. You know, no one's
if everybody's alive at the end of the day, then you're winning. Like,
no one died.
No one died. That's always how I see it, because honestly, like, there have been awful things go on in my friendship groups, my family, and I just think as long as we're together and we're all right, that is the goal. You can't beat yourself up about everything. Like, we're just human at the end of the day, and it doesn't matter what status you are, you're going to have those feelings, you know, at the beginning of your journey, and you know where we're at. So you just have to release some of it and just do what you can.
And I have to say, Holes, with the balance thing, I think sometimes people have to expect that the balance is going to be a little bit upset. It is. And I had exactly the same experience myself. So when I first started in this business, I think everybody knows where I was and why I joined. So I'm not going to go into that, but I needed this to work. So for me, I pushed very, very hard for 2 years, and I worked harder in those 2 years than I've ever worked in my life before. And sometimes if you want something badly enough, you have to upset the balance a little bit, and you have to push for what you want. You do. And
100%.
The benefits do come, because I have more balance now than I...
Yeah, and it's not just the income that you earn later for the work you did at the beginning, it's also the time and stuff you get later. You have to... you've got to really be all in. And like I say, I'm quite honest with anybody I talk to about this opportunity. Like, I'm never going to tell you that this is easy, because if you want to be earning the kind of money I earn, you got to work for it. And the balance does get upset, but I was, you know, I'd work till midnight some nights, and I'd been at work all day, and then Freddie would be up at 2 or 3. So, you know, there were nights when I would cope on very little sleep, but I would do it all over again tomorrow because I'm at home with my children. I'm on maternity leave at the moment, effectively. Like, she's 6 months old, but I'm not on maternity pay. So, you know, that I would do it all again tomorrow for that. But you have to be
write that in the comments for me. Can someone write that in the comments? I am on maternity leave, but I'm not on maternity pay. I love that, Holly. I love that, because you are enjoying the benefits of maternity leave.
Absolutely. And I'm not spending it worrying like I did with Freddie. Like, I spent the whole of my maternity leave with him worrying about going back to work, all the things that I had to cut back on. And this time I don't have to.
And that is the beauty of a residual passive income, which I think a lot of people miss. For me, I don't have kids yet, but for me, I get to paint as much as I like. It's not quite the same, but it means a lot to me. So,
no,
and I don't need, my paycheck won't know. So if someone in my family falls ill and I need to take time off work, my paycheck doesn't know about it. If I decide I've had enough this month, I need a break, I'm going to go on holiday for a month, my paycheck doesn't know. That is the beauty of a residual passive income. But I love that.
It's the freedom, 100%. And like, the income's great, don't get me wrong, but the fact that I can take my son to preschool, pick him up if I want to go in and help, if he's got a sports day, assembly, like the nativity play, whatever it is, I know I'm going to be there. I don't have to check with anybody. I don't have to make sure that, you know, it's all right with anybody. I answer to me and my family, and that is priceless.
Freedom and choices. It's all anybody wants, really, I think, out of life. It's not the money, it's what it does for you. So we spoke a little bit about self-development earlier. If you could recommend any book, what would it be?
Okay. Can I have more than one? Because I have a few like favorites.
Go on, I'll allow it.
Okay, so The Energy Bus is really the best book that I've come across that explains the law of attraction. If you don't get on with The Secret, please just read that one, because I love The Secret, but not everybody buys into that. And I think The Energy Bus really gets the message across beautifully,
because it gives you a real-time scenario of how your attitude affects you.
It does.
Everyone needs joy in their life.
Everyone needs a bit of joy. We love a bit of joy. And it's really hard just to pick one, because they all have so much, I don't know, different like amazing things about them. But I found The 4 Color Personalities really interesting, and I always relate back to that, because although it's an oldie, it's a real goodie, and especially when you're growing, because you do have to adapt, and you have to be a sociable person, or not a sociable person, but you have to be a social person. You have to understand how people work, so that you can make sure that you explain how this business can benefit everybody, because there's something for everybody. Like, we had a guy join our team like last week, and he's smashing it out of the park. He's in the King this month. He's doing amazing.
What's his name?
John.
Give him a little shout out.
Let me tag him.
Give him a shout out. Everybody loves a bit of recognition when they're doing well.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So I think most of the people on this live are familiar with the 4 Color Personalities. Holly, what color are you?
What do you think I am, peeps? I love a spreadsheet.
I think she's green.
I'm a little bit green.
You're just a little bit green, aren't you? Just a tiny bit.
But I'm a bit of a psycho. I'm a bit of all of them, really. I have bits of red. I do love the recognition. I do love leaderboards and stuff. I love winning things.
You're very yellow.
I do love the trip. But I am, I do. I love, and also I don't see some people are a bit like, oh, I'm yellow, and I think yellow's like amazing. Yellow's a great color to me, because you're about the other people, and in this business you need to be about that. You can't just be about you. So yeah, I love all the lovely bits about our business and all the good that we do. So yeah.
And you love a good incentive trip as well, so you're very blue too.
I do. I love a trip. I love a little night out with my wife's sisters.
I remember sitting around the pool in Spain, and you were singing Disney songs, and we were all singing along, and it was amazing.
It's
No,
good,
I can't beat it.
good day.
So my love, for anybody who's wondering, the 4 Color Personalities is by Big Al. It's literally about, well, it's free on YouTube, or you can get it for about £3 on Audible, and it's very short, very sweet. It's going to help you understand how to speak to people in a language that they understand, and it's one of the first books that we recommend when you're building a team. So if you haven't got onto it, then now is the time. So Holly, darling, where do you see yourself in 2 years is my last question.
Just growing more and more people, basically, just helping other people get to their goals. Like, I am forever grateful for the fact that I can stay at home with my kids, and I absolutely want complete financial freedom. Like, who doesn't? We'd be lying if we said we didn't. But what really like gets me out of bed in the morning and sets my soul on fire is hearing what this does for my team and helping them get to their goals. And I want to see those messages like, I've just handed my notice in. I want to see those live videos like Nicola, who just went black, like our latest black status in the UK. Her video when she hit black, oh my God, I was just crying. I don't know this lady. I don't know her at all. But it just gets you in the feels because of what this business can do for people. So yeah, I like that feeling of, yes,
it's wonderful seeing it real time. I watched Nicola's video as well. We're going to be interviewing Nicola in a few weeks' time, ladies. So the latest Black UK is going to be jumping on here. I'm really excited about that.
That would be
but
awesome.
Seeing it real time as people achieve these amazing things. She just booked her flights to Pelican Hill in California yesterday. And it's like in an instant, her life is just completely changed. And it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. And it's like I was saying earlier, you're my mini me. And Holly, I have no doubt in my mind that you are going to continue changing lives, you know, for the rest of your unique career. And I'm excited to see it. And I'm excited to hear one lady after another saying, I've handed in my notice, because I'm very much with you on that one.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for giving up your time. It's been an absolute delight talking to you, honey. I can't see the comments because on a dual live, they don't scroll. I don't know if you can see them, but I never can.
I can. You can. They're on the left. You can scroll.
For me, they never scroll.
Mine's scrolling.
Well, you're getting a lot of love. I've just scrolled up. Holly, love this. We love you, Holly.
I love you.
I'm sorry, I've just joined. What book was that? Lisa, it was the 4 Color Personalities. Zan, yes, I'm a psycho. Sorry, girls. Has to be said.
Oh, she's
what
a
color
psycho.
Carol says, what color are you, Leanne? When I started, I was very red. For me, it was all about recognition. It was about achievement.
But blue too.
Now? Yeah, so red is all about achievement and money, and I needed to make this work, so I was very red. Then when I was earning the money that I needed to be comfortable, Carol, I turned very blue. I loved a good incentive trip and a party and having fun with my girls. To this day, Aunt Holly, I'm very blue.
So blue.
But I've got a lot of yellow and green, so I am a psycho.
You're a rainbow, darling. You're a rainbow.
I prefer that to psycho. Okay, and I think everybody's shouting green. Okay, yeah, because your green personality. They know you very well, Holly.
They do. I'm an open book.
You are an open book, but that's one of the things that we love about you. Thank you so much, darling.
You're very welcome.
Amazing. I'll let you get on with your evening. And very best of luck with it. You're going to be one of the very strong Black Status ones. I have no doubt about it.
Thank you so much. Love you all. I'll speak to you soon.
Bye, darling. So, ladies, how did you enjoy that? Holly Miller, Black Status, just incredible. I love that. Do you see what I mean about her aura and her energy? She's such a caring soul. We're going to be back next week, and we're going to be interviewing someone a little different. I wonder if you can guess who it is. Yeah, I wonder if you can guess. Put who you think it's going to be in the comments. And how can I put this? I want to give you a clue, but anything I say is going to give it away. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a clue. It's not a Y girl. So put your guesses in the comments, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a clue on my timeline in the next couple of days. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you were inspired. Hope you took a lot of value, and we will see you next week for the next Leader Spotlight. Bye.